Okay, to begin with, use a glass base to build your Valentine's gift around. You could use something like a canning jar. I have an old vase from a flower arrangement I got. There's also just a pretty drinking glass. And what we're going to use today is this pretty little corked heart-shaped bottle. Supplies you're going to need to start with are some adhesive and a toothpick. E6000 is great to apply with a toothpick. It keeps your work neat. Then a glue stick and some just regular tape. You'll also need a marking pen. You can use either a craft blade or scissors, and then you're also going to need a pair of wire cutters. Don't forget now, when you're going to use some heart glass wafers. These are available from hhhenterprises.com. There's some large and small, and there are other shapes too, but for Valentine's I thought this would be best. Then we're also going to use some pink ball chain. And finally, you're going to need some altered art paper. This is the little paper pack supplied again by HHH Enterprises, and that's going to be fun to work with. They're beautiful little papers that are just wonderfully designed and perfect for our project. And I'm going to take my glass wafer, and I like to play around with this a little bit. Just write "Je t'aime" means I love you in French. You know, you might want to do it at an angle. That might be interesting on your gift. I like this pink C'est la vie because I like a little more color with Valentine's. I am going to have candy, full wrapped candy in the jar, but once you have it placed how you want to visualize it behind your glass wafer, you're just going to take a pen and you're going to draw a line around the edge. Now, if you always would cut just inside the line, not on top, it'll come out much better and fit underneath your wafer nicer. The wafer kind of has a magnifying effect, so it doesn't have to be all the way to the edge. If you do it on top of the line or outside the line, you might have your paper sticking out, and that doesn't look very professional or well finished. So we're going to cut just inside our line, our C'est la vie paper. Okay, cut out. See, it fits right there. Looks nice. I'm going to take a little bit of glue stick, and I just put a little glue on the edges to hold it in place. Not hard. Just hold it in place a second, and we have our glass heart applied here with its paper. Next, you're going to grab your glass container, and I chose this bottle, and I want to set it on top of this. So next what we're going to do is we're going to take a little E6000, and we're going to put that also around at the edges. You can use a toothpick. This one isn't as detailed as the future project here. Put this down, going all the way around. We're going to put that on our jar. I'm going to set this down for just a second, because what you're going to need to do is have a piece of tape ready if your surface is not flat. The tape will just hold it in place, but you don't want it sliding around with that E6000 on it. We're going to slip it, place it very carefully, centered, or however you want it on your piece. I'm going to do mine right in the center, and then press down. Then I'm going to put a piece of tape over it to hold it in place for about, we're going to go about 15 minutes to 20 minutes. It will take 24 hours to dry completely. We're going to gently remove the tape without removing the glass wafer. And we're going to set it down. Get your E6000. I like the mini tube. These are fun and easy to use and neat. You're going to get a little E6000 on the end of your toothpick. And what we're going to do with that now is go all the way around the edge of the wafer very neatly. This is going to be where we put in the ball chain to finish out the little project, so that it looks very hand-cherished, hand-touched, and created specially for someone for their Valentine's Day gift. I like doing my own gifts. For one thing, I get tired of all the Chinese imports, and sometimes it doesn't seem like they're very special. So when you can think of a project and it doesn't cost an arm and a leg and it doesn't take hours and hours, but it's just a little bit more special to do this. And then they have a keepsake that's not made of plastic, like a gift to be a little bit more special. So I kind of messed my glue up there, but you can easily work with E6000 the first 10 minutes or so to clean it up a bit. Doesn't take long, just a little patience and a steady hand. So no caffeine this morning. Or maybe some need caffeine to steady. Our ball chain's going to fit right in that. Once again, not always perfect, but when I get through it will be. Sometimes E6000 has a life of its own, an ooze factor I like to call it. We're going to take the pink ball chain. I'm going to start at the very top in the crevice. We're going to push that ball chain right into that E6000. You're going to wrap it on around. This covers up any like paper edges you might not have gotten trimmed. It also just makes it look a little more finished. This ball chain comes in 4 or 5 colors that are real pretty to work with. Besides just being good for jewelry, I love using them for trim on projects like this, belt buckles, pendants. Alright, so I'm right there at the end. As you can see, I'm going to get my wire cutters or my nippers. I'm just going to nip it gently. And then I'm going to fold it in so that it makes that nice little crevice. Now we're going to let this set another 20 minutes or so. If you want to do some cleanup at this point, you can. The glue is easy to work with at this point. I like to wait generally about 10 minutes because it will come off, like peel off, like it's almost a sticker consistency. So we're going to let that set a minute more before we do our cleanup. And then we're going to add a pink ribbon at the top. Fill it with everyone's favorite Hershey's Kisses. And I got the Valentines. They also are really good in caramel. Fill that up and that makes